Hi everyone, I am G. Rajeshwarna. Happy to see you all again. Our today's topic is, in this topic, today we are going to learn about magnetism and magnets, classification of magnets, classification of magnetic substances, molecular theory of magnets and magnetic terms, properties of magnets and the methods of magnetizations. Let us get into detail. First, let us learn what is magnetism and magnets. Actually, a magnet is a rock or a piece of metal that attracts some certain kind of metals like iron, nickel, cobalt, etc. towards itself. And what is magnetism? Magnetism is a force exerted by the magnet, and magnetism is caused by the motion of electric charges. Magnetism always works over a distance. Magnets are classified into basic two types. One is natural magnet and artificial magnets. First one is natural magnet. As the name implies, the magnet naturally available is called natural magnet. Example, lodestone, an iron compound material, is a naturally occurring magnet which was discovered centuries ago. Okay, and it is in the form of mineral magnetite. Artificial magnets. Natural magnets can be found in nature, but artificial magnets are prepared by the humans by using the magnetic substances. Artificial magnets also exhibits the magnetic property same as natural magnets. The artificial magnets are again classified into permanent magnets and temporary magnets. Let us see them one by one. Permanent magnets are the magnetized piece of magnetic material or substances like steel, iron, nickel, cobalt, alnico, tungsten, etc. And once it is magnetized, it will not lose their magnetic property that easily. Permanent magnets are made in different shapes such as bar magnet, ring magnet, cylindrical magnet, U-shaped magnet, horseshoe-shaped magnet. Magnetism works on different ways around each shape of magnets. Permanent magnets are used in many applications such as compass, loudspeakers, headphones, small electrical motors, generators, MRI machines, etc. Next one is temporary magnet. Temporary magnets are the magnets which holds their magnetism property for a very short period of time. A typical example of a temporary magnet is an electromagnet. So, magnetic materials are generally classified into three groups. First one is ferromagnetic substances. Those substances which are strongly attracted to the magnets are known as a ferromagnetic substances. Some of the examples of ferromagnetic materials are iron, nickel, cobalt, steel and their alloys. Next one is paramagnetic substances. Paramagnetic substances are those substances which are slightly attracted to the magnet. Some of the examples of paramagnetic materials are aluminum, magnesium, platinum, copper, etc. We also note that air is a paramagnetic substances. Next one is diamagnetic materials. Those substances which are slightly repelled by the powerful magnets are known as a diamagnetic materials. Some of the examples of diamagnetic materials are bismuth, sulfur, graphite, wood, paper, glass, etc. On all of this, bismuth is the strongest of the diamagnetic material. Now, let us learn about the molecular theory of the magnetism. Molecular theory of magnets. According to this rule, each and every molecules of the magnetic materials are a complete tiny magnets itself, and they are having north poles and south pole, and they are known as a molecular magnets. See these pictures. In these pictures we can see different two pictures. Okay. In an non-magnetized material, the molecular magnets are in disorderly manner, that is, the north poles and south poles of the molecular magnets are pointing in all the directions. But when the magnetic materials are magnetized or any external magnetic field is present, all the molecular magnets will align into a new arrangement, so that all the north poles will point in one direction and all the south poles will direct in the opposite direction. So, all the north pole of the tiny molecular magnets pointing side will be the north pole, and all the south side of the molecular magnets will be the south pole of the magnetic material when they are magnetized. Now, let us learn some of the magnetic terms. Some common magnetic terms which are available are, first one is magnetic field, that is the space around the magnet within which the influence of the magnet can be detected is known as the magnetic field of the magnet. Next one is magnetic lines. Magnetic flux lines are the imaginary lines to represent the magnetic field around a magnet. They do not stop on the poles. Next one is magnetic axis. The imaginary line that connects the two poles of the magnet is called the magnetic axis of the magnet, and they are also known as the magnetic equator. Next one is magnetic neutral axis, and this is the imaginary line that is perpendicular to the magnetic axis and passes through the center of the magnet is known as the magnetic neutral axis. Magnetic poles. Generally, the two ends of the magnets are referred as the poles of the magnet. One end of the pole is known as the north pole of the magnet, and the other end of the pole is known as the south end of the pole, as shown in this figure. Unit poles of a magnet is the strength of the magnetic pole that repels another identical pole when placed in a distance of 1 meter with the force of 10 newtons. Now, let us learn some basic properties of magnet. Properties of magnets. Magnets have several properties, and let us discuss some of the basic common properties. Let us see one by one. First one is attractive property. Every magnet has the property of attractive magnetic materials like iron, nickel, cobalt, steel and their alloy materials. The attracting power is greatest in the poles of the magnet. Next one is directive property. If a magnet is suspended freely, the poles of the magnet will always tend to set themselves in the direction of north and south pole of the earth, as shown in this figure. Next one is induction property. The induction property of a magnet is the property that produces the magnetism near the magnetic material when they are placed in the magnetic field by induction principle. Next one is pole existing property, and the magnetic poles always exist in pairs as north pole and south pole. See in this picture, as in the picture, if a magnet is broken into two pieces or more pieces, each piece will act as an individual magnet and each will have the poles of north and south. Property of pole strength. Every magnet will have two poles, north pole and south pole. Both the poles of a same magnet will have the equal pole strength. The properties of attraction and repulsion. This property states that the unlike poles of the magnets attracts each other while the like poles of the magnets repel each other. That is, when the magnetic material is being magnetizations, if the magnetic material reaches its maximum magnetic strength, it cannot exert more magnetic strength even with a high level of further magnetization. Next one is demagnetization property. When the magnet is handled wrongly and roughly by heating or hammering etc., the magnet will tend to lose their magnetism. Let us learn about the methods of magnetizing. Methods of magnetizing of a magnetic material. As we already discussed, a magnetic material can be turned into a permanent magnet when they are subjected for a strong magnetization. The process of magnetizing a magnetic material is called magnetizations. There are three principal types of magnetizing a magnetic material. First one is touch method. This touch method can be further divided into single touch method, double touch method and divided touch method. First one is single touch method. In the single touch method, the steel bar to be magnetized is rubbing with either pole of the magnet, keeping the other pole of the magnet away from it. Single touch method, the rubbing should be done in only one direction as shown in the figure. This process has to be repeated for many times to induce the magnetization in the steel bar. Next one is double touch method. In this method, the steel bar to be magnetized is placed over the opposite end poles of the magnets, and the two rubbing magnets are to be placed at the center of the steel bar with the small wooden piece in the middle as shown in this figure. This has to be rubbed again and again to end and finally ending at the center of the steel bar magnet without lifting of the surface of the steel bar. Next one is divided touch method. In this method, two different poles of the rubbing magnets are placed on the steel bar as same as the double touch method. And then the rubbing magnets are moved along the surface of the steel bar to the opposite ends, and then they are lifted from the surface of the steel bar and then placed back again the center of the steel bar, and the whole process is repeated again and again to make the steel bar into the magnetization by means of electric current. In this method, a bar to be magnetized is wound with an insulated copper wire and fed with the strong electric current from battery, and the electric current passes through the wire. Thus, the bar is become highly magnetized. The magnets made by such an arrangement is called as an electromagnet. Next one is induction method. This is the commercial method of making permanent magnets. A steel piece which has to be magnetized is kept on the iron core inside the coil, and the DC current supply is fed through the coil. So, now the iron core becomes powerful magnet, and thus the steel piece becomes magnetized using induction principle. I hope you all understand the methods of magnetizing a magnetic materials. In our today's class, we have learnt about magnets, magnetisms, classification of magnets and magnetic substances, the magnetic terms, properties of magnets, molecular theory of magnetic materials, and the methods of magnetizing a magnetic material. I hope you all understand them very well. Thank you